Genesis chapter 21. The Lord kept his promise and blessed Sarah. She became pregnant and had a baby boy for Abraham when he was very old. The boy was born at the exact time God said he would be. Abraham named the boy Isaac. When Isaac was 8 days old, Abraham circumcised him, just as God had told him to do. Abraham was 100 years old when Isaac was born. Sarah said, "God has made me happy and filled me with laughter. Everyone who hears about this will laugh with me." She also said, "Who would have thought that I could have a baby for Abraham? But now I have given him a son in his old age." Isaac grew up, and on the day he stopped breastfeeding, Abraham had a big feast to celebrate. One day, Ishmael, the son of Hagar the Egyptian, was playing with Isaac. Sarah saw them and said to Abraham, "Send that slave woman and her son away. Her son should not share in the things that belong to my son Isaac." This made Abraham very upset because Ishmael was also his son. But God said to Abraham, "Don't worry about the boy or Hagar. Do what Sarah tells you. Isaac is the one through whom I will keep my promise. But I will also bless Hagar's son and give him many descendants, because he is your son too." Early the next morning, Abraham gave Hagar some food and a bag of water. He put the boy on her back and sent them away. Hagar wandered through the desert of Beersheba. When the water was gone, she placed the boy under a bush. Then she sat down a little distance away and said, "I can't watch my child die." She began to cry. God heard the boy crying, and an angel from heaven called to Hagar. "What's wrong, Hagar? Don't be afraid. God has heard the boy. Get up and help him. I will make a great nation from him." Then God opened Hagar's eyes, and she saw a well. She filled the bag with water and gave the boy a drink. God was with the boy as he grew up. He lived in the wilderness of Haran and became a good hunter. His mother found an Egyptian woman for him to marry. At that time, Abimelech and the commander of his army, Phicol, came to Abraham. Abimelech said, "God is with you in everything you do. Promise me now, in front of God, that you will never lie to me, my children, or my descendants. I have been kind to you, so promise to be kind to me and to this land where you are living." Abraham said, "I promise." Then Abraham complained to Abimelech about a well that Abimelech's servants had taken. Abimelech said, "I don't know who did this. You didn't tell me before, and this is the first time I've heard about it." Abraham gave Abimelech some sheep and cattle, and they made an agreement. Abraham set aside 7 lambs from his flock. Abimelech asked, "Why did you separate these 7 lambs?" Abraham replied, "Please accept these lambs. They are proof that I dug this well." That place was called Beersheba, which means well of the promise, because that is where they made a vow. After they made the agreement at Beersheba, Abimelech and Phicol went back to Philistia. Abraham planted a tamarisk tree in Beersheba and prayed to the Lord, the eternal God. Abraham lived in the land of Philistia for a long time. Genesis chapter 22. Sometime later, God wanted to test Abraham's faith. God called out, "Abraham!" Abraham answered, "Yes, here I am." God said, "Take your son, your only son Isaac, the one you love very much, and go to the land of Moriah. Go to the mountain I will show you, and offer him there as a sacrifice to me." Early the next morning, Abraham got up and cut some wood for the sacrifice. He got his donkey ready and took Isaac and 2 servants with him. They began the journey to the place God had told him about. On the 3rd day, Abraham saw the place far away. He said to his servants, "Stay here with the donkey. The boy and I will go over there to worship, and then we'll come back to you." Abraham gave Isaac the wood to carry. Abraham carried the knife and the hot coals to start the fire. As they walked together, Isaac spoke. He said, "Father?" Abraham answered, "Yes, my son." Isaac asked, "We have the coals and the wood, but where is the lamb for the sacrifice?" Abraham said, "God will give us a lamb for the sacrifice, my son." And they kept walking together. When they reached the place God had shown him, Abraham built an altar. He put the wood on it. Then he tied up his son Isaac and laid him on the altar, on top of the wood. Abraham picked up the knife to kill his son. But the angel of the Lord called out from heaven, "Abraham, Abraham!" Abraham said, "Yes, here I am." The angel said, "Don't hurt the boy or do anything to him. Now I know that you truly respect and obey God. You were willing to give up your only son for him." Abraham looked around and saw a ram with its horns caught in a bush. He took the ram and offered it as a burnt offering instead of his son. Abraham named that place, "The Lord Provides." Even today people say, "On the Lord's mountain, He provides." The angel of the Lord called to Abraham from heaven a second time. The angel said, "This is what the Lord promises, using His own name. Because you did this and did not keep back your only son, I will bless you greatly. I will give you so many descendants that they will be like the stars in the sky and the sand on the seashore. Your descendants will defeat their enemies. All nations on earth will be blessed because of your descendants. This will happen because you obeyed my command." Abraham went back to his servants. They all returned to Beersheba, and Abraham lived there. Sometime later, Abraham heard that Milcah had 8 children with his brother Nahor. The children were Uz, the oldest, and his brother Buz, then Kemuel, who became the father of Aram, also Chesed, Hazo, Pildash, Jidlaph, and Bethuel. Bethuel became the father of Rebekah. Milcah gave birth to these 8 sons with Nahor, Abraham's brother. Nahor's concubine, Roimah, also had children. They were Tebah, Gaham, Tahash, and Makkah. Genesis chapter 23. Sarah lived until she was 127 years old. She died in Hebron, in the land of Canaan, and Abraham was very sad and cried for her. After some time, Abraham got up and went to talk to the Hittite people. He said, "I am a stranger living here with you. Please sell me some land so I can bury my wife." The Hittites replied, "Sir, we see you as a great leader. You can bury your wife in the best grave we have. Any of us would gladly give you a place to bury her." Then Abraham bowed down to show respect to them. He said, "If you really want to help me bury my wife, please ask Ephron, the son of Zohar, to sell me the cave of Machpelah, which is at the edge of his field. I want to pay the full price for it, right here in front of all of you, so I can own it as a place to bury my wife." Ephron was sitting there with the other Hittites at the city gate, where people gathered. He spoke so everyone could hear and said, "Sir, I will give you the whole field and the cave in it. I give it to you here in front of my people. You can bury your wife there." But Abraham again bowed to the Hittites. He said to Ephron, so that everyone could hear, "Please listen to me. I want to buy the field. Take the money from me, and then I will bury my wife there." Ephron answered, "Sir, the land is worth only 400 pieces of silver. That's nothing between us. Go ahead and bury your wife." Abraham agreed and weighed out the silver, 400 pieces, just as Ephron had said. He used the standard weights that merchants used. That is how Abraham bought the field and the cave at Machpelah, near Mamre, from Ephron. The land included the field, the cave, and all the trees in it, up to the borders. Everyone there, all the Hittites, saw that the land now belonged to Abraham. After that, Abraham buried his wife Sarah in the cave in the land of Canaan. So the field and the cave, which had belonged to the Hittites, became Abraham's land to use as a burial place. Genesis chapter 24. Abraham was now very old, and God had blessed him in everything. He spoke to his oldest and most trusted servant. The servant was in charge of everything Abraham owned. Abraham said, "Put your hand under my thigh and make a promise." He told the servant to promise in God's name. Abraham said, "Do not get a wife for my son from the people here in Canaan. Go to my hometown and find a wife for my son Isaac from my relatives." The servant asked, "What if the woman doesn't want to come with me? Should I take Isaac there?" Abraham said, "No, do not take my son back there." He said, "God brought me here from my father's land and promised to give this land to my family. He will send an angel to help you find a wife for my son. But if the woman refuses to come, you are free from your promise. But never take my son back there." So the servant put his hand under Abraham's thigh and made the promise. The servant took 10 camels and left for the town where Nahor lived, in northern Mesopotamia. When he got there, he made the camels kneel down near a well outside the town. It was late afternoon, the time when women came to get water. He prayed, "Lord, God of my master Abraham, please help me today. Keep your promise to my master. I am standing by this well, and the young women are coming for water. I will ask one of them, 'Please give me a drink.' If she says, 'Drink, and I'll get water for your camels too,' then I'll know she is the one you chose for Isaac." Before he finished praying, Rebekah came to the well with a water jar on her shoulder. She was the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Nahor and Milcah, who were Abraham's relatives. She was very beautiful and not yet married. She went down to the well, filled her jar, and came back up. The servant ran to meet her and said, "Please give me a drink from your jar." She said, "Drink, sir," and quickly lowered her jar so he could drink. When he finished drinking, she said, "I'll also get water for your camels." She poured the water into the trough and ran back to the well for more until all the camels had water. The servant watched quietly to see if the Lord had answered his prayer. When she finished, the man took a gold ring and put it in her nose. He also gave her 2 large gold bracelets. He asked, "Who is your father? Is there room at his house for us to stay?" She said, "My father is Bethuel, son of Nahor and Milcah. There is plenty of straw and food for the camels, and a place for you to stay." The servant knelt down and thanked the Lord. He said, "Praise the Lord, the God of my master Abraham. He has kept his promise and led me straight to my master's family." Rebekah ran home and told her mother everything. Rebekah had a brother named Laban, and he ran to the well. Laban had seen the ring and bracelets and heard what the man had said. He found the servant still by the camels. Laban said, "Come with me. You are blessed by the Lord. Why are you still here? I have room for you and your camels." So the servant went with him to the house. Laban took care of the camels and gave them straw and food. He brought water for the servant and his men to wash their feet. When food was brought out, the servant said, "I won't eat until I tell you why I'm here." Laban said, "Go ahead and speak." The servant said, "I am Abraham's servant. The Lord has greatly blessed my master and made him rich. He has sheep, cattle, silver, gold, servants, camels, and donkeys. His wife Sarah had a son in her old age, and my master gave everything to him. My master made me promise not to find a wife for his son from the women of Canaan. He told me to go to his family and find a wife for Isaac. I asked, 'What if she won't come with me?' He said, 'The Lord will send an angel to help you. If my family refuses, then you are free from your promise.' When I came to the well today, I prayed to the Lord. I asked for a sign to help me find the right woman for Isaac. Before I finished praying, Rebekah came with her jar. I asked her for a drink. She gave me water and also gave water to my camels. I asked who her father was, and she said, Bethuel, son of Nahor and Milcah. I gave her the ring and the bracelets. Then I thanked the Lord for leading me to my master's relatives. Now, if you will be kind and fair to my master, tell me. If not, I will go another way. Laban and Bethuel said, This is from the Lord. We can't say yes or no. Here is Rebekah. Take her with you, as the Lord has said. When Abraham's servant heard this, he bowed down and thanked the Lord. He gave Rebekah gifts of silver, gold, and clothes. He also gave gifts to her brother and her mother. Then they ate and drank and spent the night there. In the morning the servant said, Let me go back to my master. Rebekah's brother and mother said, Let her stay 10 more days. But the servant said, Please don't delay me. The Lord has made my journey successful. They said, Let's ask Rebekah what she wants. They called her and asked, Will you go with this man? She said, Yes, I will go. So they let Rebekah and her nurse go with the servant and his men. They blessed her, saying, May you have many children, may your descendants be strong. Rebekah and her servants got on the camels and went with the servant. Isaac was living in the southern land near a place called the Well of the Living One Who Sees Me. One evening, he went out into the field to walk. He looked up and saw camels coming. Rebekah saw Isaac and got down from her camel. She asked the servant, Who is that man in the field? The servant said, He is my master. So she covered her face with her scarf. The servant told Isaac everything that had happened. Then Isaac brought Rebekah into the tent that belonged to his mother Sarah. She became his wife, and Isaac loved her. She comforted him after the loss of his mother. Genesis chapter 25. Abraham married another woman named Keturah. She had 6 sons with him, Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua. Jokshan became the father of Sheba and Dedan. Dedan's children were the Asherim, Letushim, and Leumim. Midian had 5 sons, Ephah, Epher, Hanok, Abida, and Eldah. All these were Keturah's children and grandchildren. Abraham gave everything he owned to his son Isaac. But while Abraham was still alive, he gave gifts to the sons of his other wives. Then he sent those sons away to the east, far from Isaac. Abraham died when he was 175 years old. His sons Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the Machpelah cave. This cave is in the field east of Mamre, which Abraham had bought from Ephron the Hittite. Abraham and his wife Sarah were both buried there. After Abraham died, God blessed his son Isaac. Isaac lived near a place called the Well of the Living One Who Sees Me. Ishmael was Abraham's son with Hagar, who was Sarah's Egyptian servant. Ishmael had 12 sons. Their names in order were Nebaioth, Kedar, Adbeel, Mibsam, Mishma, Duma, Massa, Hadad, Tema, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedemah. These sons became the leaders of 12 tribes. Their names were used for their villages and camps. Ishmael lived to be 137 years old. His descendants lived between Havilah and Shur, near Egypt, on the way to Assyria. They lived apart from the other children of Abraham. This is the story of Isaac, Abraham's son. Isaac was 40 years old when he married Rebekah. Rebekah was the daughter of Bethuel and sister of Laban. They were from Mesopotamia. Rebekah could not have children, so Isaac prayed to the Lord for her. God heard his prayer, and Rebekah became pregnant. She was going to have twins, but they struggled inside her womb. She asked, "Why is this happening to me?" and went to ask the Lord. The Lord told her, "2 nations are inside you. You will have 2 different peoples. One will be stronger than the other. The older one will serve the younger." When it was time to give birth, Rebekah had twin boys. The first baby was red and covered with hair like a coat, so they named him Esau. The second baby was born holding tightly to Esau's heel, so they named him Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when the twins were born. The boys grew up. Esau became a skilled hunter and liked being outdoors. Jacob was a quiet man and liked staying at home. Isaac liked Esau best because he enjoyed eating the meat Esau brought home. But Rebekah loved Jacob more. One day Jacob was cooking some bean soup. Esau came home from hunting and was very hungry. He said, "I'm starving. Give me some of that red stew." That's why he was called Edom, which means red. Jacob said, "I'll give you some if you sell me your rights as the firstborn son." Esau said, "I'm so hungry I could die. What good are my rights to me now?" Jacob said, "Promise me first." So Esau made a promise and gave his rights as the firstborn to Jacob. Then Jacob gave him some bread and stew. Esau ate and drank, then got up and left. Esau didn't care about his rights as the firstborn son. Genesis chapter 26. There was another time when there was no food in the land, like during Abraham's time. Isaac went to Abimelech, the king of the Philistines, in a place called Gerar. The Lord appeared to Isaac and said, "Do not go to Egypt. Stay where I tell you. Live here, and I will be with you and bless you. I will give all this land to you and your children. I will keep the promise I made to your father Abraham. I will give you many descendants, as many as the stars in the sky. I will give them all this land. Other nations will ask to be blessed like your family is blessed. I will bless you because Abraham obeyed me and followed my rules." So Isaac stayed in Gerar. The men there asked him about his wife. He said she was his sister. He was afraid to say she was his wife because he thought they might kill him to take Rebekah, who was very beautiful. After Isaac had been there for a while, King Abimelech looked out his window and saw Isaac showing love to Rebekah. Abimelech sent for Isaac and said, "So she is your wife. Why did you say she was your sister?" Isaac said, "I thought I might be killed if I said she was my wife." Abimelech said, "What have you done to us? One of my men might have taken your wife, and that would have made us guilty." Then Abimelech warned everyone, "If anyone hurts this man or his wife, they will be put to death." Isaac planted crops in that land. That year he gathered 100 times more than he planted because God blessed him. He became richer and richer. He had many sheep, cows, and servants. The Philistines became jealous of him. They filled up all the wells that Abraham's servants had dug. Abimelech said to Isaac, "Go away from us. You have become more powerful than we are." So Isaac left and set up his tents in the valley of Gerar. He stayed there for a while. Isaac dug the same wells that Abraham had dug, which the Philistines had filled. He gave the wells the same names that Abraham had used. Isaac's servants dug a new well in the valley and found water. But the shepherds of Gerar argued with Isaac's shepherds and said, "This water is ours." So Isaac named the well Quarrel. His servants dug another well, and people argued about that one too. So he named it Enmity. Isaac moved again and dug another well. No one argued about this one. He named it Freedom. He said, "Now the Lord has given us space to live, and we will be successful here." Isaac left and went to Beersheba. That night the Lord appeared to him and said, "I am the God of your father Abraham. Do not be afraid, I am with you. I will bless you and give you many descendants because I promised Abraham." Isaac built an altar and worshipped the Lord. He set up his tents there. His servants dug another well. Abimelech came from Gerar to see Isaac. He brought his advisor Ahuzath and his army commander Phucal. Isaac asked, "Why are you coming to me now when you were mean to me and made me leave?" They said, "We see that the Lord is with you. We want to make a promise with you. Please promise that you will not harm us, just like we did not harm you. We were kind and let you go in peace. Now we see that God has blessed you." Isaac made a big meal for them, and they all ate and drank. Early the next morning they made promises to each other and kept them with a vow. Isaac said goodbye, and they left as friends. That same day, Isaac's servants came and said, "We found water." Isaac named the well Vow. That is how the city of Beersheba got its name. When Esau was 40 years old, he married 2 women from the Hittite people. One was Judith, the daughter of Beeri. The other was Basemath, the daughter of Elon. These 2 women made life very hard for Isaac and Rebekah. Genesis chapter 27. Isaac was now old and could not see any more. He called his older son Esau and said, "Son." Esau answered, "Yes, father." Isaac said, "I am old and may die soon. Take your bow and arrows, go out into the fields, and hunt an animal for me. Cook the tasty food I like and bring it to me. After I eat, I will give you my final blessing before I die." While Isaac was talking to Esau, Rebekah was listening. After Esau left to hunt, Rebekah spoke to Jacob. She said, "I just heard your father talking to Esau. He said, 'Bring me an animal and cook it for me. After I eat it, I will give you my blessing before I die, in front of the Lord.' Now listen to me, my son, and do what I say. Go to the animals and bring me 2 fat young goats. I will cook them to taste like the food your father loves. You will take it to him to eat, so he will bless you before he dies." But Jacob said, "Esau is a hairy man, and I have smooth skin. What if my father touches me and knows I'm tricking him? Then instead of a blessing, I will be cursed." His mother said, "Let the curse fall on me, my son. Just do what I say and get the goats." So Jacob went and got the goats and brought them to his mother. She cooked the food just the way Isaac liked it. Then she took Esau's best clothes and put them on Jacob. She put the goatskins on his arms and neck, where he had no hair. She gave Jacob the tasty food and some bread she had made. Jacob went to his father and said, "Father." Isaac answered, "Yes, which son are you?" Jacob said, "I am Esau, your older son. I did what you asked. Please sit up and eat the meat I brought so you can bless me." Isaac asked, "How did you find the animal so quickly?" Jacob said, "The Lord your God helped me." Isaac said, "Come closer so I can touch you." "Are you really Esau?" Jacob moved closer, and Isaac touched him. Isaac said, "Your voice sounds like Jacob, but your arms feel like Esau." Isaac did not recognize Jacob because his arms were hairy like Esau's. Isaac was ready to bless him, but asked again, "Are you really Esau?" Jacob said, "I am." Isaac said, "Bring me the meat to eat, and I will bless you." Jacob gave him the food and some wine to drink. Then Isaac said, "Come closer and kiss me, son." Jacob kissed him, and Isaac smelled his clothes. He gave him the blessing and said, "My son smells like a field the Lord has blessed. May God give you rain from heaven and good crops. May he give you plenty of grain and wine. May nations serve you and people bow down to you. Be the ruler over your relatives. May those who curse you be cursed, and those who bless you be blessed." After Isaac finished blessing him, Jacob left. Then Esau came back from hunting. He cooked the food and brought it to his father. He said, "Father, please sit up and eat the meat I brought so you can bless me." Isaac asked, "Who are you?" Esau answered, "I am your older son Esau." Isaac began to shake and tremble all over. He asked, "Then who was the one who hunted and brought me food?" "I already ate and gave him the final blessing. It will stay his blessing." When Esau heard this, he cried out loudly and bitterly. He said, "Bless me too, father." Isaac said, "Your brother tricked me and took your blessing." Esau said, "This is the second time he has cheated me. That's why he is named Jacob. First he took my birthright, now he took my blessing. Do you have anything left for me?" Isaac said, "I made him your master and gave him everything, grain, wine, and servants. I have nothing left to give you." Esau begged, "Do you only have one blessing, father? Please bless me too." He began to cry loudly. Then Isaac said to him, "You will not have the dew from heaven. Your land will not be rich. You will live by your sword. You will serve your brother, but one day you will break free from him." Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing Isaac gave him. He thought, "Soon my father will die. Then I will kill Jacob." Rebekah heard about Esau's plan. She called Jacob and said, "Your brother Esau is planning to kill you to get back at you. Now do what I say. Go quickly to my brother Laban in Haran. Stay with him for a while until your brother calms down. When he forgets what you did, I will send someone to bring you back. I don't want to lose both my sons on the same day." Rebekah said to Isaac, "I am so upset about Esau's foreign wives. If Jacob also marries one of these Hittite women, I don't want to live anymore." Genesis chapter 28. Isaac called his son Jacob, greeted him, and said, "Do not marry a Canaanite woman. Go to Mesopotamia, to your grandfather Bethuel's house. There, marry one of your uncle Laban's daughters. May God Almighty bless you and your marriage. May He give you many children so that you become the father of many nations. May God bless you and your children just like He blessed Abraham. May you and your family own this land where you are living, the land God gave to Abraham." Isaac sent Jacob to Mesopotamia, to Laban. Laban was the son of Bethuel the Aramean, and the brother of Rebekah, Jacob and Esau's mother. Esau found out that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him to Mesopotamia to find a wife. He also learned that Isaac told Jacob not to marry a Canaanite woman. Esau saw that Jacob had listened to their father and mother and had gone to Mesopotamia. Then Esau realized that his father Isaac did not like Canaanite women. So Esau went to Ishmael, the son of Abraham, and married Mahalath. Mahalath was Ishmael's daughter and Nebaioth's sister. Jacob left Beersheba and started traveling to Haran. When the sun set, he stopped at a special place to spend the night. He lay down to sleep and used a stone as a pillow. While he was sleeping, he had a dream. He saw a stairway going from the earth up to heaven. Angels were going up and down the stairway. Then Jacob saw the Lord standing beside him. God said, "I am the Lord, the God of Abraham and Isaac. I will give you and your children this land where you are lying. Your descendants will be as many as the dust of the earth. They will spread out in all directions. Through you and your family I will bless all the nations of the world. I am with you and will keep you safe wherever you go. I will bring you back to this land. I will not leave you until I have done all I promised." Jacob woke up and said, "The Lord is here in this place, and I didn't know it." He was afraid and said, "This place is so holy. It must be God's house and the gate to heaven." Early the next morning, Jacob got up. He took the stone he had used as a pillow and set it up as a special memorial. Then he poured olive oil on the stone to honor God. He named the place Bethel. The town was called Luz before. Then Jacob made a promise to God. He said, "If you stay with me and protect me on this journey, and if you give me food and clothes, and if I come back safely to my father's house, then you will be my God. This stone I have set up will be a place to worship you, and I will give you a tenth of everything you give me." Genesis chapter 29. Jacob continued traveling and came to the land in the east. He found a well in a field, and 3 flocks of sheep were lying near it. The flocks drank water from this well, which was covered with a large stone. When all the flocks were gathered, the shepherds would roll the stone away and water the sheep. After that, they would put the stone back in its place. Jacob asked the shepherds, "My friends, where are you from?" They answered, "We are from Haran." He asked, "Do you know Laban, the grandson of Nahor?" They said, "Yes, we do." Jacob asked, "Is he doing well?" They replied, "Yes, he is well. Look, here comes his daughter Rachel with his sheep." Jacob said, "It's still daytime, not the time to bring the flocks in. Why don't you water them and take them back to the field?" They said, "We can't do that until all the flocks are here and the stone is rolled away." Then we water the sheep. While Jacob was still talking to them, Rachel arrived with her father's sheep. When Jacob saw Rachel and the sheep, he went to the well, rolled the stone away, and gave water to the sheep. Then he kissed Rachel and began to cry with joy. He told her, "I am your relative, the son of Rebekah." Rachel ran to tell her father. When Laban heard the news about Jacob, he ran to meet him. He hugged and kissed Jacob and brought him into his house. Jacob told Laban everything that had happened. Laban said, "You really are my own flesh and blood." Jacob stayed with Laban for a whole month. Then Laban said, "Just because you are my relative, you shouldn't work for free. Tell me what you want for your work." Laban had 2 daughters. The older was named Leah, and the younger was Rachel. Leah had lovely eyes, but Rachel was beautiful in shape and face. Jacob loved Rachel, so he said, "I will work for you for 7 years if you let me marry Rachel." Laban said, "I would rather give her to you than to someone else. Stay here with me." Jacob worked 7 years to marry Rachel, but it felt like only a few days because he loved her so much. Then Jacob said to Laban, "The time is finished. Let me marry your daughter." Laban prepared a wedding feast and invited everyone. But that night, Laban gave his daughter Leah to Jacob instead of Rachel, and Jacob slept with her. Laban also gave his servant Zilpah to Leah to be her maid. In the morning, Jacob found out it was Leah. He asked Laban, "Why did you do this to me?" "I worked for Rachel." "Why did you trick me?" Laban said, "In our country, the older daughter must be married before the younger one. Wait until this wedding week is over, and then I'll give you Rachel too, if you work for me another 7 years. Jacob agreed. After the wedding week with Leah was over, Laban gave him Rachel as his wife. Laban also gave his servant Bilhah to Rachel to be her maid. Jacob slept with Rachel too, and he loved her more than Leah. Then Jacob worked for Laban another 7 years. The Lord saw that Leah was not loved as much as Rachel, so he let Leah have children. But Rachel could not have any. Leah became pregnant and had a son. She said, "The Lord has seen my sadness. Now my husband will love me." She named the baby Reuben. She became pregnant again and had another son. She said, "The Lord gave me this son because he heard I was not loved." She named him Simeon. She became pregnant again and had another son. She said, "Now my husband will stay close to me because I've given him 3 sons. She named him Levi. She became pregnant again and had another son. She said, "This time I will praise the Lord." She named him Judah. After that, Leah stopped having children. Genesis chapter 30. But Rachel had not given Jacob any children, and she became jealous of her sister. She said to Jacob, "Give me children, or I will die from sadness." Jacob got angry and said, "I am not God. He is the one who decides if you can have children." Rachel said, "Here is my servant Bilhah. Sleep with her so she can have a baby for me. That way I can have a child through her." So Rachel gave her servant Bilhah to Jacob as a wife, and Jacob slept with her. Bilhah became pregnant and had a baby boy for Jacob. Rachel said, "God has helped me. He heard my prayer and gave me a son." So she named the boy Dan. Bilhah became pregnant again and had another baby boy for Jacob. Rachel said, "I have struggled with my sister, and now I have won." So she named the boy Naphtali. When Leah saw she could not have more children, she gave her servant Zilpah to Jacob as a wife. Zilpah had a baby boy for Jacob. Leah said, "I am lucky." So she named the boy Gad. Zilpah had another baby boy for Jacob. Leah said, "I am so happy. Now other women will say I'm happy." So she named the boy Asher. During the wheat harvest, Reuben went into the fields and found some mandrakes. He brought them to his mother Leah. Rachel said to Leah, "Please give me some of your son's mandrakes." Leah said, "You already took my husband." "Now you also want my son's mandrakes?" Rachel said, "If you give me the mandrakes, Jacob can sleep with you tonight." That evening when Jacob came in from the fields, Leah went out to meet him. She said, "You must sleep with me tonight. I traded my son's mandrakes for you." So Jacob slept with her that night. God listened to Leah's prayer, and she became pregnant. She had a fifth son for Jacob. Leah said, "God has rewarded me because I gave my servant to my husband." So she named the boy Issachar. Leah became pregnant again and had a sixth son for Jacob. She said, "God has given me a good gift. Now my husband will love me because I have given him 6 sons." So she named the boy Zebulun. Later, Leah had a daughter. She named her Dinah. Then God remembered Rachel and heard her prayer. He let her have children. Rachel became pregnant and had a baby boy. She said, "God has taken away my shame." She also said, "I hope the Lord gives me another son." So she named him Joseph. After Joseph was born, Jacob said to Laban, "Let me go back home now. Give me my wives and children that I have earned by working for you, and I will leave. You know how hard I worked for you." Laban said, "Please stay. I know that the Lord has blessed me because of you. I learned this through signs." Laban said, "Tell me what you want to be paid, and I will give it to you." Jacob said, "You know how hard I have worked for you and how your animals have grown strong. Before I came, you had very little, but now you have a lot, and God has blessed you. Now it's time for me to take care of my own family." Laban asked, "What should I pay you?" Jacob said, "I don't want any money. I will keep taking care of your animals if you agree to this. Let me go through your flocks today and take every black lamb and every spotted or speckled goat. That's all I want as payment. Later, when you check what I have, you'll see if I was honest. If I have any animals that are not spotted, speckled, or black, you'll know I took them wrongly." Laban said, "Agreed, we will do what you said." But that same day, Laban took away all the striped or spotted male goats, and all the spotted or speckled female goats, and all the black sheep. He gave them to his sons, and then he took those animals far away from Jacob, 3 days' journey. Jacob took care of the animals that were left. Jacob took green branches from poplar, almond, and plane trees. He peeled the bark to make white stripes on them. He put the striped branches in front of the animals where they drank water, because that's where they mated. When the animals mated near the branches, they had babies that were striped, speckled, and spotted. Jacob kept his animals separate and made them face the striped and black ones from Laban's flock. This way, Jacob built his own group of animals. When the strong animals were mating, Jacob put the branches in front of them at the water troughs, so they would mate near them. But he didn't do this with the weak animals. So Laban got all the weak ones, and Jacob got all the strong ones. In this way, Jacob became very rich. He had many animals, servants, camels, and donkeys.